All right, well, it's day 4, and we're packing our bags and heading to Saitama Prefecture. Now, to be honest, a bunch of drama happened before we got there, and we ended up canceling our plans for the day. Essentially, me and the wife got separated on the train, and it's been about an hour trying to get reconnected. And so, anyways, instead, we're going to spend the day at the shopping mall and just go poking around and do the kinds of things you do at malls. Okay, well, before we get started, I figured we'd treat you all to a little bit of story time here, because just about every trip to Japan I've been on, there's a blunder. And on this trip, this is our first blunder, involving trains, of course, and it kind of gives an example of what things can go wrong when using the train systems. So a little bit of backstory. On this trip, my wife was planning on several meetings that she had made with lawyers. They were going to get together and talk about lawyer stuff. I'm not going to go into that. But this was her first appointment on our way to Saitama. And her plan, she told me, because she had to go to Shinjuku Station to meet this lawyer, what was going to happen was that I was going to then take the kids, the stroller, and 5 pieces of luggage, and I was going to take all the kids through Shinjuku Station to a play place nearby while she was at her appointment and meet them afterwards. This was all supposed to happen around 9:30 in the morning, which is rush hour. And so if you're not aware, Shinjuku Station is the busiest train station in the world. I can't remember how many millions of people go through it a day, but it's the busiest. And so at rush hour would be about the absolute worst time to try and manhandle 5 pieces of luggage by yourself and with your oldest child pushing a stroller in this crowd. This was a bad idea. So here's what actually happened. I heard that plan and said, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go right past Shinjuku Station on a different train. I actually went through Tokyo Station, heading north, and then I'll meet you at our next destination. I'll just be at the train station waiting for you. You go do your thing, and I'll find a park nearby. We'll just do that instead. And so here's what actually happened. That plan failed as well. Given that it was rush hour, which is the worst time to get on Japanese trains, especially with luggage, it's kind of considered a no-no. So getting onto our train in Shinagawa, Omori Station, I think it was, the train platform, of course, is absolutely crowded, given that it is rush hour, and that was fine, but my wife was nowhere to be seen, and so the train pulls up, and out of the crowd pops his head. I'll meet you at Omiya Station, he says. That was the plan, so we'll just cancel what we're going to do, and we'll just rendezvous at Omiya Station, and that's all good, right? So as the train doors open up, it's full of people. I think I had 4 pieces of luggage on me at this time, and I just yelled out in Japanese, please forgive me, which, gomen nasai is what that is. And so with a big old gomen nasai, I shoved all my luggage on the train. A bunch of grumpy businessmen kind of grumbled and looked at me funny, but they accepted my apology and realized I meant it sincerely, and I got on the train. That was all good. I think I went about 10, 15 stops. We passed Tokyo Station. The crowd started to thin out, and about this point in the time, as I'm, huddled over my luggage, I can't move at all. I finally have freedom to move my arms. A little bit more backstory. At this point in the trip as well, only one of us has pocket Wi-Fi, which is what we use to use our cell phones in Japan. That's what gives you Google Maps. If you use an app, like we use the Line app, which is a Japanese cell phone app, you can call each other on that, and this allows you to communicate. Kind of a modern day treat that we didn't have 20 years ago. Anyways, because of a mishap that I made in ordering my pocket Wi-Fi was currently being shipped to our next hotel, which we were heading towards. So my wife had the only pocket Wi-Fi, so I was tethered to her. And so if I get more than 100 feet away from her, my cell phone doesn't work. And so now that I have freedom to move my arms, I check my cell phone, I realize that I have no internet, which means my wife is not on the train. And so I say, okay, well, I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to go ahead and hop off this train and hop on the next train and see if she just happened to miss the train. So I hop off. 2 minutes later, the next train pulls up. I hop back on that train. No internet, so therefore no wife. And so I say, well, I'm not going to keep doing that. I'm just going to go to Omiya Station, and I'm going to wait there and see if she shows up. Because 2 minutes at that point isn't enough time that you would just walk out the train platform and not find me. Okay, so I get to Omiya Station. They're not there. I think I watched 5 or 6 trains come and go. They don't get off them. So I instead wander off to my next destination, which was the coin lockers, and I put my bags and my luggage in the coin lockers, and I go back to the platform, and they're still not there. And at this point, I think it's been about an hour, and I was getting to the point where I'm like, well, you know what? I'll watch one more train come in and go, and if she's not on it, I'm just gonna walk to the hotel. I'm gonna pick up my Wi-Fi if it's waiting for me there. That way I can call her and say what's going on. They happen to get off that train though, and here I am, glossy-eyed looking, waiting for the explanation of what happened. And I figured there'd be a reasonable story behind how we got separated. And what she tells me is that remember the plan, I will meet you at Omiya Station. That was the plan, right? Instead, what she did was, first she said they missed 3 or 4 trains because they couldn't get on them. When they got on a train, she said they proceeded to get off at every station looking for me and didn't see me there. So anyways, just an example of what happens. You will be separated from times if you're traveling as a group in Japan. This is not to shame my wife in any way by telling the story. This is just to say these things do happen. And the important part really is to always have the plan known to everybody in the group and to have a plan as to how you're going to fix that plan. That doesn't mean at every train station you work out a plan, but you need to communicate to your entire group probably what the next station is, and then to have a known plan amongst your group of what you're going to do if you get separated. Because I've had many times in my past trips, with friends, etc., somebody always drops the ball. Someone goes to the vending machine at the wrong time. Someone goes to the bathroom, and the bullet train comes by and it takes off and they aren't on the train. So what do? Do you get off the train and go back and look for them? Do you meet at your next station, which they should already know? That's kind of my recommended plan. It's really as long as everybody knows what station you're going to, you know that your group will be waiting for you at the stop when you get on the right train to get there. So that was the lesson of the story. Things do go wrong. You're going to hear a bit more of this drama later in the series because it kind of continues to happen. But like I said, this isn't to shame my wife. It's a good moral of the story.